I'm here with Carly Harvey, Team Michael. What's interesting is I think I've been watching The Voice for years. Is this the first time someone's ever used a interesting, I guess, what would you say, device? It's not a charm, it's an object that you have that actually a vibe check to see which judge coach you wanted to choose. What was that like and were you nervous doing that? I thought that was very cool. That was one of the highlights
Um,
so far.
I think they're saying it's a first in show history, so no one's done it before. And it's a pendulum. So it's just petrified wood. It's like wood that's like protected with like resin and like people put different crystals or minerals on a chain. And it's something called dowsing. So you just use the energy and frequency of that object, which like everything has a frequency, like quartz has a frequency and an energy, which is why we actually put quartz in watches. So that second hand like moves at a specific movement. So I want to clarify, I was not doing voodoo or witchcraft on the show. It's just everything has a vibration, everything has a frequency. And no, it felt very natural to do that because that was me being my authentic self. That was me being me and who I am. And it was wonderful to introduce it maybe to some people who had never seen it before in a more lighthearted way. Because like some things don't have to be like so super serious. Cause I think that kind of amps up the way people think it's like, oh, it's magic or like, oh, it's witchcraft. And it's just like, it's just an everyday regular thing.
Carly, on being your authentic self, I thought it was very insightful in your package where where you actually describe yourself as a bluesologist. Can you, for our listeners and watchers, tell us what a bluesologist is? I over the years I've been a fan of R&B. Now I'm so into jazz, but I think I like your way when you go to the root of things. So can you speak to that?
Yes. So I am a blues and jazz singer, but blues is the traditional and ancestral music of a completely different ethnic group, which is African American people created this music basically from having no culture at all. And I actually just did a lecture at MIT about the Native American influence. And I'm Afro Indigenous. So blues is like definitely it's those intersections are like they're so precious to me because it is my heritage and lineage and it's me expressing myself through that. And so hill country blues or Piedmont blues, that's the predecessor to country music as we know it today, right? And then different, like there was a more intellectual response to blues, which became jazz. And then there was a more electrified response to blues, which was rock and roll. And my goal as an artist is to honor the root of blues including its Native American origins and intersections at the origin of blues, and modernize it. So like infuse a little bit of rock, infuse a little bit of funk, right? And still honor where it comes from. And so that's why I call myself a bluesologist. Like I'm making tasty cocktails. So like my latest music released is like there's a fusion of like Delta blues with native vocal bowls, and there's the blues funk, and there's soul blues, like that kind of Etta James vibe you want to hear. And so that's why I refer to myself that way.
And my apologies. I'm going to pronounce this wrong. Kamama, it released in 2024. I'm gonna download it after this interview on Spotify and listen to it on my way to the
Yes.
gym. I'm definitely
Yes,
excited.
please do. Please do.
Yeah, does it have all of those layers and elements that you were talking about? And what was it like just to bring that to your album?
Oh, it was so beautiful and precious. And I feel like like I honored my ancestors while doing it because it's music, it's all original music. And I co-produced it. Like when the horn arrangements weren't what I wanted them to be, I'm like, nope, this is what we're going to do. So I was like Michael Jacksoning in the studio. That's now a verb. So I Michael Jacksoned my album. There's another song which I wanted to take more of the soul blues vibe and then add a rock element. And there's also some Latin American, like Mexican elements to it. It's called Take Your Love. So it has like a Bobby Blue Bland vibe. And I'm like, I had to like tell the guitarist, like, I want, so we can like, make reference to like James Brown and Bobby Blue Bland. And it was really beautiful. And of course, many of my songs feature native scat, which is my sort of improvisational fusion of like native vocal bowls and a jazz scat. And yeah, it was lovely to make that album and just pour myself into it.
Speaking of pouring yourself into it, you're also pouring yourself into other people. Can you just talk about your life as not just as an artist, but as a musician, but also as an educator? You talk about the
Mm,
speech you just came from. What
yeah.
drives you to do that? And how does one, I guess, practice feed the other, I suppose? Or maybe they're just two different roads that you traverse on a given day.
I think they have, made this really beautiful intersection and I love it. So my lecture involves a performance. I love teaching students. I have like voice, piano, and beginner's guitar students. And I love helping someone, reach their full potential or at least strive toward it. It's like such a beautiful thing. And I think storytelling is an important aspect of blues. And so that is one of the ways I keep the heritage of what it was when it was, I want to say, conjured. It wasn't written or created. It's kind of like it was simultaneously becoming a movement, like joy and song as resistance to oppression. And it became all these beautiful manifestations, right? And I love the storytelling aspect. And I really love teaching, especially from a place of love, because, I think people are afraid of what they don't know. So if you are like, well now, you kind of make a person feel defensive or like they're less open to hearing what you have to say if you're coming at them attacking. But if you just open it up and say, let me tell you my story, let me share with you of myself and of my heritage, people are so open. And like yesterday, I had a standing ovation after my lecture, and like everyone was like, MIT is not generous in that way. Like they're like, they don't give standing ovations. And I was like, wow, they just really received it. And it was really just me saying, I want to share my knowledge with you. I want to share the story and the arc of how blues influences all the music we love. And it was just so well received because I guess my style of teaching or my style of storytelling is and so it's just me being me.
I wonder why that style of teaching, it seems from my POV, is rare. Okay, coming from a place of love, like you said, because like you said, it opens things up. It seems like the logical way to go. And I always wonder why a lot of people don't ascribe to that. Or, I just wonder that.
I think sometimes there's ego attached to it. Like you learned this from me, right? And so therefore, when your ego is attached to it, again, you have not everybody, but one can have the approach of, I'm going to school you instead of I'm going to share with you. Sharing is one of the ways you open people up and they become receptive. You open up, they open up. But if you're like, I know way more than you, I'm more educated than you, and I'm going to tell you off, I mean, everyone's guarded. So I think that's why that style of teaching is just so impactful.
And on that teaching and learning experience, what type of environment did you find with the voice? What was that whole experience like? Meeting different musicians, singer-songwriters, and then also working not just with the coaches, but with other musicians and learning from them as well and getting to the root of things, like you said at the beginning.
It was so wonderful. One, just to see, again, I love seeing people like strive toward reaching their potential or wanting to grow and expand. And some of the contestants did ask me for advice because they're like, you're a voice teacher. And I'm like, and there's just such an inherent part of me. So I was like, I think I can't do that because, like, what if you win and I don't? But, I just put that aside. And so part of me was like, yeah, try it like this, or this is a great vocal tip, or here's like a great vocal health tip. And like, so I just felt that part of myself. It's just me. So I didn't even see this as like, it's a competition and I'm going to like do all these strategic things. I just wanted to be in community with people that with a shared goal. And that was such a beautiful experience. And working with the band and, even all the producers, in the background, they were just such cool people. And they're like, wow. And in my interviews, like, they're like, oh, tell us more about that. Like, so I was like, ooh, more to share. So it was a beautiful experience.
And in your package, you talked about following your dream and achieving your dream. You have many dreams, but what was it about the
Mhm.
voice which made this dream worth it for you, I guess, worth the sacrifice and all the work that you put in?
Because The Voice is one of the most like highly watched shows. And again, with ego aside, I mean, well, we have to have a little ego. We're musicians and we're performing on stage, right? But I think that I have like a special message and a special gift to share. Sorry, I get a little emotional. Ew. And I'm a hustler. I work really hard. Like, I'm like the Renaissance woman. Like, I'm lecturing, I'm teaching, I have got a small music school, I'm going on tour, I'm doing all these things. I'm a dog walker, like anything to supplement my income to support my goal. And the larger the platform, the more access you have to people to share that gift. And I have, you know, in my lifetime felt overlooked and unseen. Not everybody's ready to receive that gift. I'll just, acknowledge that. But I think, especially with how divided people are and there's so much discord, I think the presence of like sharing something expansive to elevate the collective is so beautiful. And I wanted to use that platform to help aid in that healing.
Yeah.
So
I want to tell you, I need to get your focus. You have so many different things you do during the day. You made me tired. I want to just go in my recliner and eat potato chips and watch television all day. But what keeps you motivated? What keeps you not sitting down, eating those potato chips and lounging about and receding from life, but you go towards it with all of these things that you do? What motivates you, I guess?
the passion to educate, to heal with sound frequency. I know that my gift is healing for me, and I know it's healing for others. I'm very passionate about that. And also, I live in Washington, D.C., and it's very expensive. So I pay my bill. I'm like, some of it I'm hustling because I don't want to work for anybody. I don't want to sit down at a desk. Some people do that,
Yeah.
and more power to them. But I wake up at 11 most days. I have a good life. I wake up early if I have to. I substitute at a high profile private school. And sometimes I wake up at 6 a.m. to like go and substitute for the kids. But sometimes I'm like, what's for lunch today? They're like, Carly, can you come in? And I'm like, well, because if I'm up till 3 a.m., like working or at a gig, I'm just getting home late. If I'm going to get up at 6 a.m., it's got to be a pretty good reason. But yeah, all of it is to supplement my income so that I can have a good life. I have like two little sweet cat daughters, and they eat beautiful bougie food that's very expensive.
You
So
have to spoil them. That has to be done.
yeah, they have to.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
rescued them from a really tough situation of like unintentional neglect. Their previous owner was in hospice care, and so they needed food and water, and I was like, I'm gonna foster them and then find a good home. And we didn't find a good home because I didn't like anybody that wanted them. And now they're spoiled. I don't have kids. So like that's where my money goes. And I get to wake up late and hang out with them and then do what I love for a living. And I'm comfortable and happy.
Yeah. Carly, thanks again so much for your time. Good luck on The Voice moving forward and good luck with your career as well. Really love talking to you. And my final quick question is, you're talking about sharing. What's it like to receive all these great positive comments from people on YouTube, TikTok, or just reaching out to you through a DM regarding your performance and seeing your gift? That must mean a lot to you as well.
It does. It's like the moment of like seen and heard the way I had desired to. It's all of this is very surreal, and it's like I'm overwhelmed with joy. And yeah, the word overwhelmed is like it carries so much. Overwhelmed with joy, also just like all of the energy and love I'm receiving is just it means more to me than I can even explain in the English vernacular. Like it's just wonderful.
Okay, thanks again, Carly. I'm gonna leave you now and start downloading your album. So much appreciated.
Awesome. Thank you so
All right.
much.
Take care, Carly. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. For more movie and television reviews and interviews, please subscribe to my Deepest Dream channel. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And as always, thanks so much for your support. Take care.